Tana and Brooke dropped their episode with Jeffree Star, and you guys, of course, there was drama. Tana had already teased that it was going to be a dramatic episode with some tea spilled, and she wasn't lying. So we are going to spill on everything that Jeffree had to say in this episode.
From Jeffree saying he doesn't believe in the moon landing to saying the Illuminati is real, there was a lot discussed in this episode of Canceled, including him wanting to try and rewrite history. And everyone in the comments is trying to clock his lies right now because people at home have not forgotten some of the situations Jeffree has found himself in over the years. It honestly felt like Jeffree was on the defense the entire episode, wanting to clear his name of things that have been said about him currently and from the past. And the worst part is that Tana and Brooke were in agreement the whole time, so they weren't like, well, wait, that's not how that happened. They were just like gassing him up the whole time, which a lot of people are not happy about given Jeffree's past, feeling like this is the last person that these two should have on, especially so closely after Brooke was just recently called out. Now, unfortunately for Jeffree, the internet does remember things, and we're going to break down some of what Jeffree had to say and how he tried to gaslight everyone over the past. Let's start with the Trisha drama because Jeffree and Trisha also filmed a podcast episode recently and people are still waiting for that to come out. But they are very curious on how it all went, especially now that Brooke and Tana have posted their episode where he is clearly acting like he had no clue why so much has been said about him over the years. When Tana brought up Trisha and Jeffree getting together to film, Jeffree literally tried to say that OG fans know that there was never any real drama between them. It was all just speculation.
You and Trisha have had, and you know, I thought Trisha. I love Trisha. The people I have made it out of that time with you, Trisha, it's a beautiful bond that you cannot recreate, right? Yeah. And you guys have had a roller coaster of a friendship.
Haven't seen her in almost 5 years.
And you're about to.
Yeah, we're about to have a reunion.
I'm going to put this out later because I'm not trying to compete with that moment. But, or maybe before, who knows? Honestly.
Yeah.
This could be like a
the build up. But yeah, we haven't seen each other in a long time. I think a lot of her new fans think I'm the devil. Love that. But the OG fans that watched both of us knew that at the heart of it all, there was really no drama. It was just a lot of speculation and other people chiming in, and there's just a lot of ugliness. But we had the best times together. I rewatched some of our old clips. Oh my god,
so
they're
iconic.
like ours. They're so
I can
iconic.
see you guys.
I don't know about you guys, but we've been here for a while and I'm remembering things very clearly. Like, I don't know about you, but this video right here isn't giving there was no drama. That title is not giving there was no drama. In this video, Trisha had opened up about how Jeffree had been mean to her. He was giving very mean girl energy on this trip they took to Vegas. And she was so hurt that Shane and Rylan continued to platform Jeffree and keep him in their lives, despite how nasty he was to her. And she said she would vent to them about it. And up until this point, Trisha had been super loyal to both Jeffree and Shane. But she had reached her breaking point after his hair guy, Hair by Jay, went live and was so disgusting towards Trisha, body shaming her, saying all these nasty things, literally admitting to the fact that they were talking badly about her on that Vegas trip that she took with Jeffree. And after this, Trisha was no longer friends with Jeffree or Shane or Rylan, and fans wanted her to keep it that way since they felt that their actions towards her were beyond disrespectful, especially after she stuck by them through cancellations. But here we are, we have Jeffree saying that there wasn't ever any drama. Like, sure, okay, right. I'd also like to say that I think it's funny that later Jeffree was throwing shade at Michaela not being a truthful beauty guru, saying that he hates liars when that's literally all he did in this episode.
I don't respect liars, and I think that's what's frustrating, is that people don't care anymore. So I've had to be like, okay, the integrity of the beauty community has been compromised.
You've been very consistent with your honesty, which I've always respected. It is so good. Always. I do just want to say, like, I've known you for so long, and you've always been in a good spot and honest about, you know, when you go through things and stuff.
Now, the next situation is, of course, Dramageddon, the famous situation between him, James Charles, and Tati Westbrook, and then later Shane Dawson. Jeffree was certainly trying to rewrite history here by making it seem like he had no involvement and couldn't understand why people ever believed Tati when she said that Shane and Jeffree convinced her to make the Bye Sister video exposing James Charles, which, if you guys remember, the timeline went, Tati posted Bye Sister accusing James Charles of being inappropriate and trying to be with straight men, which is interesting because Jeffree does make a joke in this podcast about liking straight rappers.
I like straight rappers. I was never there. I was never there.
Anyway, after Bye Sister, people were going off on James, canceling him, and Jeffree was adding fuel to the fire. He tweeted saying, "There is a reason that Nathan banned James Charles from ever coming over to our home again. There's a reason why I haven't seen him since Tati's birthday in February. He is a danger to society. Everything Tati said is 100% true. He also tweeted at James Charles' brother saying, why is your brother why'd you really move back to New York City? Exactly. Shut the F up. And let's not forget about him on Snapchat literally admitting to inserting himself in the situation because everyone wanted to see him expose James.
But there are so many things that you guys don't know. And you know me. If you've been following me for a long time, I am not a liar. All I know is honesty, and I am hurt right now, and I'm sad that first of all, I inserted myself. I already know. But I had a very good reason for chiming in, and there is a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I need to share with you guys.
Shane was filming his series with Jeffree all while this was going on, and people were expecting to see the drama of this all in this series that he was going to be making. But Shane, after some time, admitted that he didn't want to put the drama in anymore, and everyone got upset because clips of them reacting to Bye Sister were in the trailer for the series. Everyone expected the drama to be in it, and he just didn't want to do that anymore. He only lightly touched on it in the final episode of the series after tons of people were being very critical about this, but it was nowhere near this expose everybody thought it was going to be on James. Now, in June 2020, Tati then posted a video claiming that Jeffree and Shane were bitterly jealous of James Charles' success, so they gaslit her into taking him down. Tati said that Jeffree connected her to Shane, and Shane came over to her house, and they claimed that they had these horrific allegations against James Charles where victims were ready to come forward for Shane's documentary, and this led Tati to make her Bye Sister video. And people believed Tati when she was saying this because in James Charles' video, No More Lies, he literally shows a screenshot from Jeffree Star telling him that multiple people were about to get on camera and talk about James. So people then pieced together like, oh, Jeffree and Shane really were behind the scenes trying to get these victims on camera telling their story for their docuseries. They just never ended up doing it. Now, this is when Shane and Jeffree really started to get canceled in 2020 because once people found out that they had involvement in Bye Sister, especially Shane, because up until this point, people really didn't think he was involved in any of this drama and that he was just this innocent bystander who was filming with Jeffree and documenting the beauty community, and he would never be involved in such a thing. So for people to find out that he had a hand in telling Tati to make Bye Sister, his character was put into question at the time, and people really dug into him and Jeffree's past, and well, that's what led to the real cancellation where everyone was like, wait a minute, the stuff in your past is nasty. And I will say, like, yes, James did end up getting called out for his behavior several times after Bye Sister, but the thing to know is that at this particular period of time, James had sort of been forgiven by the internet, so people were very much looking at Shane and Jeffree getting Tati to make Bye Sister as this really evil and just like out of character act for Shane specifically. But Jeffree in the recent podcast was just shocked that people believed Tati and acted like he had no involvement in this at all ever.
I took a few weeks off and was like, wait, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person. I didn't try to take down James Charles. I haven't talked to Tati in months. He weaseled his way back in, got her to make a video about us to try to get back at us.
Oh, you think he was behind video 2?
Yeah, that's what she's told people. Yeah, that he manipulated her. These people are so twisted.
But your memory's so great.
And I wasn't a part of any of it. That's the problem.
But you got dragged.
You were shrapnel.
So now we're 5 years later. You're telling me that me and Shane called her on the phone and coerced her into me. This has to be a joke. That's what I'm like, how could anyone believe that was real?
He goes on to say that he was just so shocked people believed Tati and that him and Shane were so busy making their palette that they wouldn't have had the time to take down James Charles like Tati was saying.
I think what was bizarre is me and Shane, and I've never even said this on camera before, we were busy filming the conspiracy documentary. We were filming for 10, 11 months how to create a product, our lives, all the newness of my life, my love life, my dogs, my exponential growth of my channel. The fact that anyone believed that we were bored to try to ruin someone's life on the side when we're living our dreams, our financial dreams, the viewers were so crazy. It was the biggest, most exciting thing me and him have ever done career-wise and the most successful. I couldn't believe I woke up and people believed I'm the villain for the 100th time.
Jeffree later asked Tana her view of it all, to which she claimed Tati was just threatened by them.
But do you think there was like a convenience in like you guys being so powerful at that time and like pinning it on you guys?
That's what I wanted to ask you.
And
Sorry, let me be quiet. So what do you think?
She was always threatened as well. Like even just with the sugar bear hair, like all of that, like James, my gummy, this. It felt like she was insecure in her spot.
Brooke and Tana also just couldn't understand why James promoting hair gummies made Tati so upset, saying that if one of them had a brand and the other was offered a brand deal that was a competitor company, they would still be happy to see the other making money. But I will say Jeffree did chime in here to say that it was more than just the gummies when it came to Tati being upset at James for that, and that it was about loyalty at the end of the day, because I think the girls just failed to remember or just never knew that James told Tati that he could not promote her brand. He did not want to promote her vitamins because he didn't want to do that with his audience. So for him to promote the hair care gummies, it was extremely hurtful to her because she's like, why are you promoting my competitor brand when you won't even promote my brand? It was just hurtful as a friend. And that was the only thing that Jeffree said that was like mildly in the defense of the situation. Other than that, he absolutely came for Tati's neck and James in this interview. And he even had to throw in a little jab after clearing up this gummy situation.
Really wasn't about gummies. I think that was the start of it. Because to me, the gummies was loyalty.
Yak's back.
I'm gonna speak for her stupid ass, Tati, you dumb cunt. I'm gonna say, let me say one thing for you before you die. You fucking old witch.
I just wish more people would come on Canceled and do
She
this.
is one of the darkest people. One of the darkest people I've ever met.
Really? I don't think I've ever met her.
Jeffree also came for the former CEO of YouTube, Susan. She passed earlier this year, but Jeffree made a nasty comment about this being her karma.
YouTube loved it. They loved pushing out toxicity. They loved making money off of everyone's misery. They did. The old 100%. CEO at the time really pandered to a lot of that evil energy and the darkness.
Susan?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Did she die?
She did, yeah. It was probably from her James Charles karma. But anyway.
Yeah.
So
carry the 4, subtract the 2.
My jaw dropped hearing that one, you guys. Seriously, like, oh my God. But Jeffree also, on the topic of Tati and James, was talking about the very much known birthday dinner that was mentioned in By Sister, explaining his side of the events.
It was her birthday, so it was like her friends and family and a lot of normal people, not YouTubers, not people with a lot of money. And to me, it was that height of James's new fame, new money, going batshit crazy and not knowing how to handle it all, and it turned him into a monster, or he already was that, and the money amplified it. And he really thought, I have money, you're gonna sleep with me. It was very disgusting. Doesn't matter who you were, you want him. You hear that creak? That's
It's loud.
And that shit happens so often
weeks
in Hollywood.
of buildup of the ego getting so dark and crazy, and just so many weird things and stories coming out to us and really bizarre things. And the dinner was him at his most disgusting. And there was a 19-year-old waiter who he tricked into his room later that night. And the guy said he wanted to leave. And James was like, I paid for this. You have to hook up with me. I bought the room. It was really, as someone that was there, and I'm all about shock value. I'm crazy. It was just disgusting to witness. I think she really felt like in her heart that exposing him as a alleged predator and all these things was going to teach him a lesson and remove him from the platform.
Other than this, Jeffree mentioned other things like how Morphe still owes him money, and also talked about him going on TikTok live and how he isn't one of those panhandlers like Jason Nash, explaining that he does more than just sit there and beg for money, saying that sometimes he cooks bacon, sometimes he does reviews. It's not always him battling. So this was him like justifying that he's not a panhandler, but you know, some people in the comments were like, okay, just because you panhandle sometimes doesn't mean that you don't do it at all.
So TikTok created battles where you could join the screen with 1v1 or 2v2, like me and you versus 2 other people. I'm sure you've seen the clips of Jason with on a 4-way or 1 versus 1. And essentially, and that's where a lot of people, it's not controversial to me at all, but to normal folks,
controversial.
It is controversial that 2 people are sitting on a screen and strangers are throwing money at them, and whoever makes the most money that battle, you obviously both get the money, but whoever gets the most points, which essentially is dollars, you win that match. Say whether people want to say I don't get called a panhandler. I think that the problem,
You're not giving panhandler.
no, battling world is really interesting. So what I'm getting at is I can cook bacon. I can do so I also do my makeup reviews live. So all the TikToks you see, I film those live, and it's really engaging, and people gift while I'm sitting there, and I've made myself a part of the daily ranks now.
There was just so much Jeffree was saying that had people people like, okay, yeah, sure. If that's how you want to remember it, I guess, or if that's what you want to believe. Some people in the comments were annoyed by him constantly talking about money too, but really the stuff I picked up on were the times that I knew he was trying to flip history, especially with Trisha. It'll be really interesting to see how he was with her when he did her podcast, but I guess we'll just have to see. I want to know what you guys think about all of this though. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye guys.